Okay, welcome back to Marnie's Marketing Mondays, and today we're going to be going over using Canva. And I am using the paid version of Canva here, so I will try to pinpoint and tell you what part's the free part and what part's the paid part. You can do a lot of it with the free side of it. It's just if you're going to make images and do a lot of resizing for different platforms, the paid version is going to save you probably more than the 11 bucks, 12 bucks a month.
Okay.
My mic is doing weird stuff. Okay, is that better? Can you hear me again? Can you hear me?
No, you're vibrating.
Vibrating?
Yeah, you sound like your motor is running. Let Dave know. Sorry, I couldn't help. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. Well,
Can you hear me?
yeah, you're vibrating. You're still vibrating. You sound like a bumblebee. You were fine, by the way.
Now,
You're almost there. Speak again.
how about now? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I bumped it. My USB ports on my laptop are finicky. If I barely tap anything, it makes everything unplug. So
just put that on your list to get a new laptop.
yeah. Y'all are welcome to buy me one if you like. Okay. All right. So, okay. All right. So we're going to go over the Canva stuff, and okay. So let's start with an Instagram. And I downloaded a few images to start with. I'm just going to make one for one of my clients. Okay, so the first thing that, I don't know if you saw what I did, is when you go in, you can pick what size that you want it to be. So I just clicked Instagram. And it opens up a second window. So you can go back and forth. You've got these two windows, one of them that's got all your stuff and your one that you're working on here. And then I go to uploads and upload your own images. And I'm going to go in here where this client's images are. I've got a couple of them here that I got off of Big Stock today for him.
And can I ask a question, Marnie, about
Yeah, go ahead, Christine.
Okay, so can we use our own pictures? Do we have to purchase pictures?
No, you can use your own. Like all of these right here, over here that I've uploaded, those are ones I've just taken. You know, the dog, I just happened to buy some for him. So,
okay.
All right, so I can click on one and it'll stick it in the center there. And I can play with that and make it bigger. You can drag it however you want, resize it. I'm just getting the corner, hold of the corner there. All right, I don't know exactly how big I'm going to want it, but I'm going to click on text and add some text, and it sticks it there. And I just went over here, I had a quote that I was going to use. And stick it there. Okay, so it's probably too much going on, so I could probably take this down a little bit, move it over. And I can readjust how much width that takes up. I can go up here and choose a different font, maybe one that's not quite so overpowering or something. Put some quotes around it. And then I can put the URL. I can add this will add a little bit smaller text, like if I want to put and And I'm going to keep, I try not to use more than 1 or 2 fonts tops. You don't want a whole bunch of different fonts. It gets overwhelming. And then notice how I'm hovering, and you see that middle line there? That means I'm perfectly centered up. This thing is centered up with that thing. It kind of guides you with that. So I may make his domain a little bigger. It's kind of small down there. And his is a quote from his book, but it's not his. The client is not Edward Hodnett. Okay, so I'm going to make that name not quite so big because we don't really care who said this. We just want the point of the quote. I don't want to emphasize some other guy's name. Okay. All right. So I don't know. It looks a little lopsided-y for that. So if you wanted, you can kind of drag. I'm just dragging right here. And notice it's got the big image and it's selected everything pretty much other than upgrading life because I didn't drag down that far. So I'm going to hold down the Shift key on my keyboard and click that. I want to undo that, and I just want to bring this stuff down. So I could do it something like that. Now, you got a lot of wasted space. So this may not be the best image for an Instagram. Sometimes you might play with it and realize, oh, well, maybe that's not the greatest thing, but we'll go ahead and save that for now. Maybe we'll use this for something else. So what you could do is you could go to File and Magic Resize. They have, and this is the paid version. Okay, this is the part that's paid, the Magic Resize. So let's say we would rather make this for a Facebook ad size instead of an Instagram. So I'm not going to do Pinterest or an email header. And I click the abracadabra button. Okay, so now it gives you the same elements. It doesn't really do a great job of resizing everything to the amount of space that you have, but at least you have all your elements again, and you don't have to place them all on the page or get your text the way you want it. You could just take this and make it bigger and just resize it however we want. We'll take this little, make that a little bigger. It doesn't need to be that tiny, maybe. Okay, so I'm going to center it up. Let me move y'all because I've got to make sure I'm doing. All right, and then I could center that up, or I could put his domain over here if I wanted to and make it a little bigger. And
can you make the domain name the color of those question marks?
Yep, sure can. So the trick is finding the right red, which is not going to be that one. So we can click that and try to come up with a different, that's pretty close. All right, so then you can save that. And I'm just going to make sure I've got his domain right. Just double check. I always make sure that I haven't made a mistake. All right. Yep. Okay, good deal. All right, so I could get rid of the dash here. It probably just makes it a little off-center looking. And I'm going to make sure that that's centered with that line. Good. All right. Okay, so let's say we download that one. You have the choice of a PNG or JPEG, or you can do PDFs if you're going to print things out. I'm just going to do a JPEG.
Why do you choose one over the other?
Most social media platforms like JPEG. So it's down here, and it goes into your download folder or wherever you've got set for your download. So I'm just going to say write questions, and this is a Facebook size, and I'm going to drag it over into Michael Duckett's because that's the client. All right. I usually try to put all these images in an image folder, so I'm trying to find where I put it. Oh, there it is. Okay. I'm going to drag it up under his images so that they're all together. Okay. All right, now we could also take this, and let's say we want to turn it into a Pinterest. We could do, usually I don't magic resize if I want to keep this version, and I do, just in case I need to make a change to it, I want to keep it. So I'm gonna, I've got it saved, I think, but let's close this window up, and we close this website. Okay. All right, and there's the Instagram one we made. But now if we go back here to all designs, I need it to rethink. I'm going to try F5 and see if it'll rethink this page. Okay, so it's got, for a while, they look kind of grayed out and you don't know what's what, but eventually it's going to show a picture like it does here. But in case you don't know, you can click it and open it up and see that, okay, that's the Instagram size one. So I'm going to rename this. You just click in that area there and say write questions, Duckett Ingram. No, I said Ingram. Instagram. That's a book publishing company. All right, and this one is the, I like to rename them because you're not going to remember what that stuff is later, you know. Okay, so these two right here, if you're using the paid version, I can have folders so I can easily find my client stuff, or if you have projects, you can organize it. So we could take this and I can drag that over into Michael Duckett's and move that one over into Michael Duckett's. So when I'm over and I click on him, then I can quickly see, okay, here's everything I've created for him. Or if I click Karen Thaxton, I can see everything I've created for her. Okay. So that's kind of handy if you're working on so much stuff, you need to be able to find it easily. Otherwise, you're always going to be working in a sea of like all designs on the free version. That's what it's going to always be. Just everything's going to be all mixed together there. Okay. The thing does say it's recording, doesn't it? Do y'all see like a recording on the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Thank you. I just want to make sure when I turn the audio off, I didn't mess up our recording. Okay, so the Instagram size wasn't going to work with that. So let's do an Instagram on this and try a different image. So you can go back to your uploads and you could start from scratch if you wanted to, but we don't really need to do that. What we can do is, okay, here's the Instagram one. So we'll go make a copy. Okay, so now we have this one that says copy of write questions. And we can click that.
Then why don't you try something like taking that image and making it really big?
Making it what? I already had another image in mind, but.
Oh, never mind. Sorry. Disregarded. That is nice.
Okay, so one of the things you can do is, like, if you want something to look shadowed, for example, you can take this here and hit copy, and then you can pick a different color. And then I always just click off to the side, and then I'm using the, well, it's not working. I hate it when it does that. Okay, so it's selected. Okay, I'm hitting the arrows on the keyboard is what I'm doing. Like I'm hitting the left arrow right now, up arrow, right, left. Okay, so you can get kind of a shadowed effect on that. So the way we did that again, we'll do it with this one, is we copy it, we change the color on it, and then we drag it where we want it to go. Or we're not dragging it, I'm arrowing again. So if we save that one, we can download it as a JPEG.
So Marnie, would you like just set
Okay,
up?
so it stuck it down here. And I'm just going to say write questions blue or something like that. And move it over into Michael's pile. All right, so we haven't done a Pinterest yet, have we? Did we do a Pinterest? We did a Facebook on the last one, right?
Right.
Let's try, let's close this one up. Okay, so we have this one right here. We're going to copy that, make a copy of it. So it stuck it over here. And the only way you can tell it's the copy is it says copy of write questions. So we're going to say write questions, duck it, and we're going to make it a Pinterest size. So we're going to open that one up. And then magic resize will let us pick the Pinterest version. I don't need, if you had multiple ones checked, it would show you, let me show you how it, let's say we did Twitter post and a Pinterest one, okay? And we hit abracadabra. What it's going to do is create multiple ones at once. Okay, so this one up here, you see it says Twitter. This one says social media, which is like a generic social media size. And this one is the Pinterest one. So it created multiple windows with each of them. I really don't care about this social media one. I don't use that. So I usually do Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, and I will occasionally do the Twitter as well, but I don't worry as much about it. Okay, so there we go. So what we could do is make all of this has to be bigger for Pinterest because it needs to be able to be readable on a mobile. Most Pinterest stuff is read on a mobile. So you want to use nice, big, clear fonts. You don't want to use a bunch of cursive-y fonts or anything like that. And then we can make that big, anyway. We could play around with some stuff, like if we want a background on that. The bad part is this has a background that's white. So when you do that kind of thing, you you can't really see, it's white and it's over there. So if you wanted to center it up, let's say we did want the bottom part white for some reason and we wanted that guy centered, you could kind of trick it, jimmy rig it a little bit. You could go to shapes and place a box, and we don't want a red box, we want a white box. And we can drag it down here and go there. Okay, but the box is on top of the image, so you click the box and you do arrange to the back and keep saying back until it fits the thing where you want it. So our finger's a little off center, we'll move him back. And our upgrading life we could make bigger. What we could do even is pull all of this up, pull that up. I think I've actually picked a different font on that guy's name, so I'm going to make it consistent. And I'm going to pull this up, I'm going to pull that up, and I'm going to make the upgrading life white so it kind of pops down there. So our red doesn't really match the question marks too well. If we wanted to make it the same, it's the background color that we're dealing with. So there it is in the background. We could make it the bright red. Which one do y'all like, the bright or the dark?
Bright.
Anybody vote?
That one. Number 2.
Okay. So we save it, and so that's the Pinterest one we're working on. Probably a little too bright, actually. So if we wanted to change it again, we hit the plus over here, and we can bring it a little darker. That's a little bit more in line with the question mark. So we'd save it and download that one. Okay, so just take it and drag it or cut it and put it back in his folder. All right, close that one up. If we wanted to do the Twitter one, it's very close to being almost the size of a Facebook one.
Why do you think it's
so you could really just, okay,
size?
I'm going to save it. And you would download it. So the Twitter size is almost the same as a Facebook ad size. You don't have to do a whole lot with it. Notice it's still named it Pinterest, and that's probably because that's what it started out as. And oh, I didn't mean to do that. You don't want to get rid of that period when you rename it. You gotta leave that period on there with the JPG. Okay, so I know it's a Twitter post because it says Twitter on the tab up there, even though it's, you know, weird. So I'm going to close that and close the Facebook one. And it probably hasn't refreshed here. So if you hit F5 on your keyboard, it'll make it refresh and show you everything. So all of these say Pinterest, notice that. even though that's not what they are, and you can't see what they are for a few minutes while it's refreshing. So if you're in a hurry, you can just click them to know what they are. That is that social media one that we don't want. So I'm going to just go like this and hit move it to the trash. I don't care about that one. Okay, so that definitely is a Pinterest one. And this is the Twitter one. So I'm going to go back and rename it to Twitter. And just so I'm consistently keeping my stuff organized, I'm going to go ahead and drag them over into Michael Duckett. Okay. All right, any questions on that so far? So if you're doing a lot of them, I'm going to work on a campaign that has to do with our writer retreat. So I created an Instagram that I could quickly work with a template from Canva and put my photos into it and actually send them up from my phone, because I got the Canva app on my phone, and I want all of my my Instagram posts that you have to post from Instagram to Instagram from your phone. Can't do it from the desktop. So I made this template in here with our URL on the bottom, so that anytime I do a picture, I can come in with my Canva app and pull up my template in here, plop a picture in, and then I can just send it up to Instagram from the phone. And you probably just play with the app. It's not a hard app to figure out. But I created the template in here. So like any picture that you've done, you can click on it and say, wait a minute. How did I make a template? I thought it had the whole thing of make a template. It had an option of make a template earlier today. Okay, so you could just make a copy of it if it doesn't let you make a template. It was doing it for me. Oh, there you go. Use as a template. That's it. Okay, so when you click on it, I made one that was just empty. So look, when you click on it like this and it opens up, it's got use as a template. And that's what I wanted to do. This one leaves the logo on the picture, and this one is in case, oh, wait a minute, I guess I did it on both of them. Okay, so let's say we use it as a template, because I don't want it to be, I probably didn't save it. I think I changed it after I did it. Yeah, I want that to come up a little bit. I want to have just a white space with my URL below it. So this picture thing, all I did was I placed one of these elements. If you go to elements and frames, I just used one of these boxes here and placed it in here, and then I scrunched it up. So I'm going to save that. So now I've got a template that has the web address below it in the white area. Let me close that up. Let's try F5 and reload that, see what it does. Okay, it looks like I have a question. Hold on a second. Okay, see you, Gina. Thanks for hopping on. Good seeing you. All right. Okay, so It doesn't look like it saved it that way is the thing. Probably because I saved it as a template. Unless it stuck it down in the bottom. Oh, wait a minute. Let me go over and make sure. I bet that's in, okay, they put it in the all thing. Yeah, that's where they stuck it. So it's not smart enough, evidently, to know that we're working in this folder and we want to save to that folder. So I'm going to take that and drag that over to Writer Retreat so that it gets saved in there. So that's it. Okay, so I could label that if I wanted to and say below photo in white or something like that. And then this other one, Passion Retreats Temple URL on graphic. So I can tell the difference. And this is a spare, so I'm just going to delete it so I don't confuse myself. Okay. All right, so that's kind of it. Let me, do y'all have any questions? I think you're all muted. I don't know whether you can unmute yourselves if you have a question.
I just wondered if you were going to show how to do the infographics or whatever that was. You made some really good ones before.
Anybody have a question? Hey, Donna, try saying something. I just want to know if I can hear you.
Carolyn had one. Okay, I'm saying something.
Don't think so.
Carolyn asked a question.
Okay, Carolyn says infographics. For some reason, I can't hear y'all. Try saying something now.
Can you hear me?
Nothing now.
All right, I can hear you. My volume was turned down. Okay, great.
Oh, okay.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Okay, so Carolyn said infographics. Did anybody else have a question? Let me go back to infographics. They have a template for those. So let me see where that is. Right there.
So what is an infographic? I mean, I know what an infographic, it gives information with a graphic. Is that for, what's that used for?
These probably lend themselves more to maybe a Pinterest, or people put them on their websites and they try to get people to share them. Like, let me just open a template up. See, they have a lot of information in them. So you can take one of their templates and reorganize it for your thing, or
like the 5 tips for blah blah.
Yeah, and they've got a whole bunch of different ones. I've used like that one before. Well, not cooperating with me. There you go. And then you can change these images out using the elements and icons. Like if you didn't want that right there, you could go to icons and pick something that would fit more with what you're doing. Let's say you needed a light bulb or something instead. You know, so you can change things out, change out the text, change out the background color. Sorry, So anyway, you just play with what's there, usually is what I do on those, rather than try to start them from scratch. Anybody else have a question?
Do those icons come with a free one or the paid one?
The free one comes with quite a bit, and then I think you get more images with the paid thing.
But But $11 or $12 a month, I mean, that's very inexpensive.
Yeah, it's worth it because I figure by the time I would have to pay somebody to do graphics, or my time is worth something. So being able to quickly make all those different sizes is definitely worth that. I mean, I save 30 minutes of my time, or, well, no, more like 10 minutes of my time, and I've made that back. So, in a month. So anyway. Let's see, we had another question. It does make clear what's free and what's not. Yeah, Donna. So Carolyn said that. So
Thank you.
Well, this is such a basic question, I'm embarrassed to ask it, but I do see people using slides or graphics with the question mark on it so that you don't have to get involved in genders and, making things politically correct. How do you Google graphic with question mark? How did you get those with question? Some of them have these little Pillsbury doughboys with a question mark on it. I mean, how do you find those?
a lot of those little Pillsbury Doughboy looking things, I think, came from Microsoft originally, like Microsoft Clip Art. So you might, I don't know if Microsoft still offers that Clip Art Gallery, but you might Google that, Microsoft Clip Art Gallery. These are all free with Canva here. This is a lot more than you would get if you didn't pay. So they give you, I don't know, tons of images. Let's see what they give you. I got mine, I just typed in question on Big Stock. And they have, so here's your Canva stuff. Looks like there's some of it starts to be paid. There's quite a bit of, here's one of those little Pillsbury Doughboy guys. Here you go, sort of. So that was free on the Canva paid. Here you got.
Well, if you use that particular one, there's probably not enough room to put that great quote you had, right? You would just use the Pillsbury dough and the question mark without, because that's really a good quote that you found.
Yeah, so you can just move it. You can resize these things however you want. I'm wondering why. Oh, that one's a paid one right there. I was wondering why it shows the Canva watermark. If it'll put the watermark on it if it's, yeah, that one's got X, and if it's a paid thing. Yeah, so you can move them however you want and resize them.
So how do you pay? They have your credit card so anytime you use it, it just charges it?
If you did a paid one, yeah. If you bought and they're not going to do it until you save it and really use it. And I think it's per use. So you want to be, I don't know if it's per use on each image that you make, but I think it might be. So I just use my Big Stock, and then I maybe use some of this free stuff in here. But I got a Big Stock account where I get 7 images a day, so I hardly ever would use up my 7 images in a day. I usually just get my stuff from there. Carolyn said she uses Pixabay. That's a free one. One thing you want to be careful with is, like with Pinterest, it doesn't give you as good of exposure if you use free graphics that are found all over the place that a bunch of people are using, because it starts to confuse Pinterest about what that's about. Like, let's say One person uses the question mark on something related to making a recipe, and another person uses it in relation to a nature thing, and another person uses it with a business thing, and that same image has gotten used in so many different ways with different keywords. It confuses Pinterest, and it doesn't understand what it's about. So by using some paid services or things where they have limited use, where you just don't see that same image used for every 20 different niches, then you'll get better exposure for your Pinterest pins. So, but I would say the paid version of Canva, the images inside there probably not getting used as much as like a totally free thing, but probably more than, say, Big Stock. So.
Well, I'm curious about this girl over on the left with all the question marks. I can see that would be good for women of value unless her dress goes down too far.
Doesn't show her dress.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that's the dollar one. Yeah.
She looks too happy for women of value.
You want us to make you an image, Judy, for yours? Shall we use you as the poster child for one?
I always like it when you do that. Yeah.
Do you have a quote or anything you want to put on there?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is, do you question your value? Or what do you see when you look in the mirror or something like that?
Okay. So let's just see what we got as far as a woman in the mirror. So that's thinking over on Canva. I don't know whether that.
I wondered what it was doing.
Yeah, when it does a little box, it's thinking. Okay, so there's that. We probably don't want the scantily clad woman in the mirror. Let's see. There's a girl in the mirror.
Oh my gosh. So all these are on your paid site or free?
This is my Big Stock. Yeah.
Oh, Big Stock.
Yeah, so it's paid. Yeah. A lot of people with mirrors. I don't know what kind of. There's somebody just looking straight in.
Yeah, it is challenging because I like the little cartoon one kind of that you showed, but it shows a skinny girl in front of a mirror. And I don't think,
well, she's skinny and she sees herself as fat. Do you not see that?
Oh, no.
She looks a lot bigger than she did, or she really does. She looks a lot bigger in that mirror. That was kind of interesting.
All right, well, I think that's also the one under it with the girl in the red dress that she's looking in the full-length mirror. I don't know. Is that another, what do you see? Fat and not fat?
Let me see. How come it's not letting me save that one? Okay, let's save it. Okay, let me go back. Let's probably have some more recommendations at the bottom too. Okay, so this was the one that you were looking at. She's just normal.
Okay. Well, she looks sassy to me, and versus older. I don't know. I like that one.
You do like this one? Is that what you said?
I do, yeah. Okay. It's sassy, yeah.
Okay. All right, so do you want to use that one?
And that's what I like to see when I look in the mirror, but I don't know how other people see it. But what do you all think? See, I don't like the way she has her leg out propped like that.
This one?
The one in the blue dress.
Oh.
I don't like that one either.
Are you not looking for more of an unhappy person than a happy, put together, thinking they're okay person?
No, we kind of switched now with doing the mirror because particularly the one in the red dress, you just see kind of like the back of her. Now that girl over there on the far right now, is she crying or is she putting on makeup? I wouldn't want an
This
unhappy.
one's putting up on makeup.
Oh, well, that wouldn't do. I don't know. Does anything pop
Here's
out
one
at
that
you all?
that sees herself as Superwoman.
Oh, that is cute. And that's real cute.
Yeah, I like that one. I'll save
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
one.
And see, she's not an age specific or anything.
Yeah. You like her?
I like the Superwoman type thing. And here's a girl that's got a mirror in her hand.
Oh, let me get back. She's just holding one.
Gosh, look at all she's from.
Okay, so why don't we take the Supergirl one since you like that one? You want that one?
Just for fun, yeah. And I'm gonna mute you because my beeper is going off and I don't want it to bother you.
All right, come on now. Let me add it. Okay. Don't need some huge thing. Okay, so now if we go to, let's say, what size do you want? Do you want a Pinterest? Do you want a Facebook? What do you want, Judy?
Well, I only use Facebook.
Okay, so let me close that.
And see, then there's a mirror that doesn't have anything in it. You all aren't commenting. I need some feedback here. And I usually like something that's feminine and pretty, and that cartoon isn't, but I think it's just cracks me up.
Might capture people's attention. All right, so what do you want it to say? Do you want it to say anything?
I'm showing it to my nurse, and she says it's cute, and she likes it.
Pretty much how we see ourselves.
Huh?
Pretty much how we see ourselves sometimes.
I think it's fun. I mean, it's. I wouldn't have thought it initially, but I think it's fun, and if you can get people's attention.
Is it women of value, Ian?
Yes, yes.
I know I should know that, but the more I think about something, the more confused I get.
Well, you've been doing a lot of detail, right? And then we put ORG in capitals so that people will remember it's not a .com.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so what do we say here? That she's just darling.
Sorry, it's being slow. I think I got too much video going or something. Okay.
Well, why are you two being so quiet? Do you just not like this at all?
Why? Because I'm not saying anything?
Yeah,
that's a good thing with Donna. That means she hasn't found anything to respect.
Oh. Well, actually, my computer overheated and bumped me off. I had to get my phone out and access through my phone. So
maybe no words are necessary. Maybe just women of value. It's like, I think it says it all. I mean, what do we need to even say? I mean,
Christine, are you still on here? What do you think?
I am. I love it.
I like
but I want to put a question mark. Like,
That's what I was
how
thinking.
do you see yourself in the morning? Or, or.
Yeah, I like what Judy said before. What do you see when you look in the mirror?
Yeah.
Or is it, who do you see?
Yeah, that's
Or
short.
how? I don't know.
If it's how, it would have to be, how do you see yourself?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's more wordy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm quiet, Judy, because I'm just observing the creative process.
I think that's darling, and that would open it up for other people to be interactive.
Very cute. I'm muting myself again.
Do you want anything, any color on any of this, or you like it just the black with the, I kind of liked where it's just all black and line drawn except for the girl in the mirror. I don't know. It's kind of something about it I like about that.
Yeah, I do too. I don't know how it would doctor it, but then my creativity is stagnant at the moment, Donna.
Excuse me, what are those words?
Yeah, words you would approve.
I would make the I would approve. I would make the title just a little bigger in font. The who do you see in the mirror? Just a little bigger.
And maybe the word you.
Yeah, take it up.
Make the word you and
Who do you see in the mirror?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh,
see in the mirror.
who do you see in the mirror? I like that.
I like
Red,
it.
red or leave it black?
Make it blue, like her shirt. Oh.
I think just the word you, maybe not the whole thing.
Oh,
I don't know. What do you all think?
You could try all black and then the word you in red.
let's see if it'll let us do that. It's kind of an all or nothing game with the colors.
Oh,
I mean, we may have to, no, it worked. Okay. They've added some functionality.
does it stand out from the black though if it's in the blue?
I don't think so.
No, the U would need to be in. The U would need to be like in red.
Yeah, because it doesn't contrast as much. She is so cute. I love her. What are we going to name her?
Like a brick red, Marnie. Yeah, it needs to be really dark red. And can you bold the word? Just the word, or do you have to bold the whole thing?
I will see what I can do.
Well, this has lifted my spirits for you to treat me to this. Thank you.
You want you on the first line or the second?
First.
That's nice.
Good to go?
I like it. What do you all think?
I love it.
I like it a lot.
So cute.
All right. So what we could do now is do the magic resize and
Oh, she's so cute. I'm going to smile the rest of the day.
let's let her go ahead and let's go ahead and give you a Pinterest and Instagram since we've got the resizer daily. And I'll pin them for you and link them to your site.
kicked out of Zoom yet. Well, that used up a few minutes on that. I guess I put some grapes.
That's cute with the word that close to the bottom, isn't it?
Or do you want the words up top and the lady down? What do you think?
I don't put it back at the bottom. It's something looking cute to me about it at the bottom.
I think.
Oh, that's darling.
What do you all think? I mean, it's cute either way.
I like it at the bottom. Can you put C in the mirror on the second line instead of the first?
Oh, she's on her way. She ain't down there yet.
Bye, Christine.
Which one does Judy like?
I think the word C beside the word U is effective because then
It's better. Yeah, I like it better up there too. I just want to see it back down.
Yeah. Who do you see? And then in the mirror is kind of by itself.
Yeah.
I like that.
Oh, she's so cute.
What?
All right, and then let's see Instagram.
Marnie, see what happens. See what happens if you make woman of value in the same red.
The what?
This is the best infusion day I've ever had, gals.
I think it's better black, Marnie.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, so
Oh my gosh. This is my favorite nurses, and she always rolls with stuff with me, so it's fun that she got to see what I'm doing, that I'm doing this kind of thing, you know.
I have an appointment to get to. I'll see you all later. Thank you, Marnie.
All right, thank you.
She wasn't
Thanks
in here for
on.
Donna's earlier comment.
Yeah, I got to take off too. Thank you.
All right, thanks for hopping on, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Pray for me while I'm up in this sexual exploitation conference this week.
Oh, will do. I tell you what I'll do, Judy, is I will post your Instagram and Pinterest ones and link them to your website. And then I will send you the Facebook one. Do you want me to send it to you through Facebook or send it to you? How do you want to get it sent to you? Would it be easier with Facebook and then you could just save it, or
repost it? Right where I could get to it, right? Or
do you want me to post it in your group and then that way you could get it and you could save it there? Or do you want it there, or do you want
it? You mean like the Women of Value group? Would that be a good place to put it, or
that group that you added me to, Made for More or whatever?
Or Made for More.
You mean put it in there?
Yeah, that'd be cute.
Okay. All right.